Welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. This talk about moving AI from buzzword territory into something real and reliable. The key insight: trust is not built through marketing or impressive demos. It's built through consistent outcomes, clear oversight, and real accountability. So we are going to explore what it actually takes to make AI system that people can depend on. Notice the subtitle, not charisma, because of a lot of all hype relies on charisma. So we are going the other direction. So this is the metaphor for what we are really talking about. Anyone can build something that works in ideal condition. The real test is what happens when things get messy. So capability alone, it's not enough anymore. Your model might be incredibly smart, but if it breaks down when it matters most, it's not trustworthy. That's the new bar. So three pillars separate the systems people can actually rely on: predictable outcomes. User need to know what they are getting even in edge cases and messy real world data, not perfect but consistent and understood. Clear responsibility. When something goes wrong, you need to know why and who owns it. That means traceability built in from the start: policies, controls, audit trails. Recoverability. Failures will happen. What matters is how fast you can detect them, escalate, and get back to normal. That is the difference between hiccup and crisis. So this is what separates systems a people trust from the system that just look good in demos. All right, the core principle: trustworthy AI, social technical, psycho-technical. Model quality alone is not enough. It's necessary but not sufficient. Trust in real world settings depends on three things: governance structures, how we design the interface, and the incentives built into workflows. So, behind the model, what happens in production is not determined by the model performance alone. Governance and UX design are what actually shape how an artificial intelligence behaves when it's live. So this is where the trust gets built or broken. Design for failure. Don't just optimize for demo scenarios. Build a system that handle edge cases, user mistakes, and degraded conditions. So real world deployment is messier than controlled testing. Plan for it. All right, this is the operational trust loop. A four-stage cycle you will repeat continuously to build accountability into your governance. So define boundaries. Start by being a crystal clear about what's acceptable use and what's the actual capability limits. No ambiguity here. So the next one is the map risk. Take those boundaries and map them against the real world impact. Where could things go wrong? What's the actual user context? This grounds risk thinking. So, engineer controls. Now build the safeguards, put decision rights in place. Make the controls match the risk you have identified, not generic checkbox compliance. Monitor and learn. Run audits, gather data, learn, learn what actually happening. This is not the end, but it's feed back into your definitions. So the key insight here: each stage sharpens the next. Better definitions to lead better controls. Better monitoring tightens your definition further. This loop compounds over time. It never really closes. So think of it: continuous improvement baked into your governance structure from day one. Risk tier is the key variable that drives everything. It determines how much autonomy the system gets, what tools it can access, and which gates it passes before going live. Low risk: these are assistive outputs where the system is helping but not making critical decisions. So basic logging is sufficient to track what happened. So the medium risk. Here we need a stronger evaluations to catch problems earlier, guardrails to constrain behavior, and rollback readiness so we can quickly revert if something goes wrong. High risk. This requires the human checkpoints. People need to approve before deployment. We need comprehensive audit trials for accountability, and stricter release policies overall. So the key insight overall is, risk increases, so does the level of oversight and control we put in place. Explicit ownership. Make sure every capability and data set has a single named owner. This creates clear accountability and ensures someone is responsible for monitoring behavior and managing the life cycle of that asset. Decision logs. Document the who, what, when, and why behind every decision. So, this includes the policy outcomes and any overrides. These logs become invaluable when you need to understand how decision was made. Audit ready trials. Do not wait for an incident to figure out your playbook. Have your instant response procedures documented and ready to go before something happens. So, they speed up responses and reduce confusion. Post incident learning. When something does go wrong, dig into root causes rather than just patching symptoms. Use what you learn to strengthen your controls, then close the loop by documenting what changed. So, this prevents the same issue from happening again. Human oversight is not about checking boxes, it's about giving people real decisions, making power when it matters. So, three key requirements for meaningful intervention. Context. Humans need to understand what's happening and why. Clarity. The situation must be easy to grasp quickly. So, the real decision power, not just approving what the system recommends, but the ability to genuinely override. Critical design principle. If you override process takes longer than 30 seconds to understand, execute, people will skip it. Every single time designed for speed. So, three core mechanisms: approve, deny, override. Use this at irreversible decision points where the stakes are high. So, don't hide what system does not know. Surface the gap so humans can fill them with their judgment. That's called explain, show, uncertainty. The fast escalation path. Make escalation smooth. It does not slow down everything else. The goal here is humans stay in control at moments that matter without creating friction that kills the system usefulness. Balancing speed with governance. The key insight here is that a governance does not have to be a roadblock. It's actually what enables teams to move faster and with confidence. Four pillars to make this work. The shift left. Get policies and controls into the pipeline early. Think pre-approved templates, reusable guardrails, automation built in from day one. Teams don't have to wait for approval. They are working with a safe framework from the start. Automate checks. Don't make governance a manual gate. Run evaluations, monitoring, and rollback triggers continuously in the background. Catch issues automatically, not through request based reviews. Trade rollout. De-risk everything with sandbox, pilot, production, progression. So each stage validates before you expand. This gives you a confidence to scale safely. Governance has enablement. The mindset shift, clear, predictable rules actually gives teams more freedom to move fast because they know the boundaries. So, no more asking permission at every step. So, the bottom line here is when the governance is designed right, it removes friction and accelerates delivery, not slows it down. Starts with the core principle. Users build trust through what systems say about themselves, not just what they claim to do. So, overconfidence destroys trust faster than honesty about limitations. So, the four principles here: set UX expectations. User need to know upfront what the system is designed for and what is in, and don't bury limitations in fine print. So, the use safe fail behaviors. When confidence drops, the system should ask for clarification. defer the decision, or escalate a human. Never fake certainty. Avoid false precision. Be explicit about assumptions and no limits. I'm 60% confident is more trustworthy than a false decimal. Make risk visible, like when the stakes are high, the surface uncertainty signals clearly. The higher the consequences, the more transparent you need to be. So emphasize, like, these are not just nice to have, they are foundational to responsible design when uncertainty is involved. So users would rather know what they don't know than discover in hard way. So we are wrapping up with the three concrete actions you take next. First move, adapt the operational trust loop plus restoring. Start by mapping your current AI systems where they deployed, what decisions do they make. Assign each one to a risk tier based impact. Find that first missing control, the one thing that will make you sleep better at night. This becomes your immediate priority. Second move, design accountability. Pick owners for your AI systems, real people, real names. So start logging decisions, what went in, what came out, why. Draft one incident playbook this week, just one, so you're not scrambling when something goes wrong. So this creates the paper trail that builds trust. Paper trail, okay? The third move, balance speed via automations plus tried releases. Find that one manual governance checks that's slowing you down, automate it, but keep the oversight. Don't trade safety for speed. This is how you move fast without losing the control. The payoff, the AI system that earn trust through what you can actually. Thank you. This is Nishanth Sirikonda. If any questions, you can reach out to me over my LinkedIn. Thank you.